Hello. Oh, my video did something weird. We're doing Lost Christianities, and I'm doing the chapter on the Gnostics. Gnostics are very interesting. Um, and people's faith is very important. And the United States is very largely Christian, so I wanted to deal with this. Despite their inherent interest, many of these Gnostic texts are not simple to understand. And that, of course, is as it should be. If the knowledge necessary for salvation was simple and straightforward, we all would have figured it out long ago. But this is secret knowledge, reserved for the elite, for the few, for those who really do have a spark of divine within them, a spark that needs to be rekindled and brought to life through the gnosis, knowledge from on high, brought from one who has come down from the divine realm to remind us of our true identity, our true origin, and our true destiny. This divine emissary is no mere mortal. He is a being from the realm above, a divine emissary sent from the true God, not the ignorant creator who made this hateful material world in the first place, to reveal to us the true state of things and the means of escape. Those who receive and understand and accept these teachings will then be Gnostics, those in the know. And I just think everyone can study. So everyone has, or I should say everyone with a healthy brain can study. And even people, parts of your brain is unhealthy, you can still study. So I don't really like the elitism part of anything. The intrigue of these Gnostic systems for general readers is thus obvious. But why, as I indicated at the outset, have they created such scholarly befuddlement? Maybe the easiest explanation is that while it is one thing to summarize the gist of the teachings of one Gnostic group or another, it is another thing to plumb the depth of the texts themselves. And there is scarcely any religious literature written in any language at any time that can be more perplexing and deliberative or deliberately obscure than some of the Gnostic writings of Christian antiquity. That draws me in right away. I want to study the hard things. To be sure, these are all available in good English translation, but even as translators try to present these texts in terms comprehensible to modern readers, they remain obtuse in places, as for example, they detail the complex relations of incalculable divine beings described in the subtle nuances of highly symbolic language. Sometimes you may suspect the translation is bad, but in fact, most of the time the English translation is clearer than the Coptic of the texts themselves. Not only are some of these original materials difficult to understand individually, they are also difficult to place in relationship with one another. Scholars have concluded that there are numerous religious perspectives represented in the various Gnostic documents surviving from antiquity, and that these perspectives are not always consistent with one another. Probably different documents come from different communities, with different worldviews, mythological systems, beliefs, and practices. Some of the texts found at Nag Hammadi present or propose religious systems unrelated to anything else known from the ancient world. Some of them are evidently not even Gnostic. Some are almost certainly not Christian. Rather than one thing, then, the Nag Hammadi library contains numerous things, various perspectives presented in an array of texts including a whole host of lost Christianities. It is impossible to synthesize the views, presuppositions, religious perspectives of these into one monolithic system. As a result, scholars have enormous and ongoing disputes over them, in terms of the individual documents and the overall phenomenon, traditionally called Gnosticism. Some of the major questions are, is Gnosticism an appropriate term for all the religions that we normally subsume under this name? Or are these religions so different from one another that we level out their differences by calling them all Gnostic? When did these various religions come into being? Were some of them in existence before Christianity? Do they spring from some kind of Judaism? Or are they offshoots of Christianity? Or are they religions that sprang up at the same time as Christianity and were mutually influential with it, i.e., with non-Gnostic Christians picking up ideas from Gnostics, and Gnostics picking up ideas from non-Gnostic Christians? Can we assign certain Christian Gnostic texts to known Christian Gnostic sects? Were these scores of Gnostic myths, or just one overarching myth that was told in a variety of ways, and so on? Boy, the Gnostics. The Gnostics, hardcore. And we'll continue reading. But until next time, please, I thank you for your support. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, and please be safe.